Hi, Barbara. Thank you for being here with us today. Seeing some more folks that are popping in here. Amanda, Kim, Morgan, thanks for being here. Melissa, good to see you. Rita. Robin. Oh, hi, Robin. How are you? Okay. Well, I guess we'll just get started. Hello and welcome to our mentor training phase 2. We're really happy to have you all here today. Before we get started, I would like to introduce all the wonderful people that are here with us today. We have Natalie Knopp of Christian Living Communities, who is our mentoring expert, here to share the model that they developed there for our adaptation. And then we also have Janice Mashek, who is the Vice President of Member Services and Innovation at Leading Age. Thanks for being here, Janice. And then we have Travis Miller, who is a member of our customer service team, rising senior at UW-Madison, and earning a health policy certificate. Hi, Travis. Thank you for being here. Before I hand things over to Natalie, I wanted to make mention that our statewide media campaign will be starting next week. So everybody should be prepared to start receiving more of those automated emails, and just make sure that your process for responding to those emails in a timely manner is up and running. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at info@WisCaregiverCNA.com, and a member of our customer service team will make sure to answer those questions. The mentoring materials that Natalie will talk about today, and the recordings of all of our previous webinars, the slideshows, all of the materials associated with the presentation today and all the previous ones are available in an online folder that we've created. In order to protect the materials, we don't want to broadly put it on a website. So if you would like to access those materials, please send us an email at info@CNA or info@WisCaregiverCNA.com, and we'll make sure to get that link sent out to you. Also, all of our employer contacts, so the primary and secondary email addresses that you provided upon registration, everybody got an email blast with the information on where to get the mentoring materials. So if you haven't seen that in your inbox, I just recommend to take a look in the spam folder and make sure to tag us as a safe sender on your safe list, so that our emails are getting through to you. So let's move on to getting ready to kick things off. As we go along, Travis and I will be staffing the Q&A box. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in as we go along, and Travis and I will answer them if we can. If we can't, we will make sure to bring up any frequently asked questions or anything like that at the end of the presentation for Natalie to answer. We'll also be trying to do some more interaction with everybody here today through the chat box. So when Natalie asks, a question or asks for your feedback or input, just feel free to hit that chat box and type in your answers. It's really nice to hear what everybody thinks, and it's a nice way for us all to learn from each other. So again, thank you for being here, and without any further ado, I will hand it over to Natalie.
Great, thank you, Kate. During our time together today, I'll be sharing more information about the mentor program implementation at your community. So again, the audience for the webinars are the community's leadership team to understand the fundamentals of the mentor program for integrating this at your community, with the mentor champ who will lead at the community level. You're going to have all your systems and foundation set so that you can oversee this program at your community. The mentor program is a community-based self-supporting program that allows the mentor champion who will have all the tools and education again to onboard your new CNAs at any time within your community. The CNA mentors onboard new CNAs upon hire. The mentor program is intended to be an extension of your clinical orientation for CNAs. That would be our biggest recommendation. During phase 1 webinar, we focused on implementing the program within your community, preparing for the mentor training, the train the trainer, with me sharing why a mentor program at your community, an overview of the program, systems to set up for implementation, such as your budget, expectations in the community, incorporating clinical orientation, bonus spreadsheet, tracking tools, how to celebrate, as well as policies, collecting statistics, identifying your mentor candidates, formal process for the mentor application, and preparing mentor education workbook packets. This was held on June 28th. As Kate shared, if you missed or anyone at your community missed this time together, phase 1 webinar, it is available for you to go ahead and watch at any time. So today we'll focus on really the nuts and the bolts for sustainability, success, and longevity of the program. So before we get started, I wanted to find out if you did your homework from last week or from June 28th. So have you identified your mentor champions at your community? And have you started thinking about which mentors that mentor champion is going to train at the community once you have your system set? So if you can put into the chat, again, have you identified that mentor champ at your community who will be running the program? And have you started to think about some of those mentors that you would like to go ahead and train? So today I'm going to give an overview of the Train the Trainer Day with didactic webinar training. This is going to be held in the morning of July 13th from 8 to noon, so please plan to attend. You'll be attending the Train the Trainer education. So again, you will be able to train this education at your community. Also, a skill supply list with competencies, having a sample will be available for you, as well as how to set celebrations, the mentor payment systems for sustainability, and steps for success. I'm going to go ahead and share that today as well. Plan to attend July 12th from 2:30 to 3:30 for guidance on planning and implementing the afternoon CNA competency or skills within your community, which follows the 4-hour didactic Train the Trainer training when taught at your community by your mentor champ. So you'll understand a little bit more about that flow as we go through our time today together. All right. And this is the perfect slide, so thank you, Kate. So remember how I shared oh, no, back one more. Yeah, perfect, thank you. Remember how I shared the mentor program is a community-based self-supporting program that allows for the mentor champion, who again has all those tools and the education to onboard new CNA mentors at any time within your community. The CNA mentors onboard new CNAs upon hire. And again, it's recommended that this be a part of your clinical orientation for your CNAs. So if you could please put into the chat, has your community discussed how the mentor program will be incorporated into your clinical orientation? When the mentor champ is ready to teach the mentor train the training education within your community, the new CNA mentors will need to be identified with the mentor application being filled out and an interview being completed, which we discussed last time. Again, the mentor is seen as an elevated role within the community. Then you will want to set that 8-hour mentor training, that didactic in the morning and the competency skills in the afternoon. Just as a refresher, the mentor is a person who takes that special interest in helping another learn, develop, and succeed. Mentoring is a process whereby the mentor and the mentee work together to discover the mentee's potential abilities, and they really build on them. And the mentee is a person who is in a new position and is a partner with that, with a relationship being built with their mentor. After the training at your community, mentor certificates, pins, ribbons will be given to your new mentors. It's really important to set up a celebration and pin your new mentor in front of their peers. Information on where to purchase the mentor pins and the ribbons are provided within your packets. And then, so this is kind of funny. We actually did some shopping on the mentor pins because the first mentor pins that were chosen and purchased, the mentors shared that they were too small. So we had to shop it around and really find a larger mentor pin. So these pins are approved by our mentors. So just a funny backstory on that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. All right, next slide. And then Kate, did we have anything in the chat? Do we have any answers to my questions?
So far, I haven't seen anything come through, but yeah,
Okay.
so if anybody out there has had some thoughts about who they might be selecting for their mentor champion, it would also just be interesting to see what the job title is of that person. Like, is it your director of nursing? Is it like an assistant director of nursing? Like who, like, you know, just to share with the rest of the group, you know, those ideas is definitely helpful. And then that second question, what, I'm sorry, I'm not remembering it right now. What was the second question?
Oh, are you implementing mentor training into your orientation?
Great.
Yeah. Wonderful.
So please feel free to put that into the chat box, everybody. Thank you.
All right. And you do bring up a really good point, Kate, with wondering the role of the mentor champ. It does not need to be a nurse. It just needs to be someone that is really excited about the mentor program and new associates coming into our community and just making sure that they are set up for success. So it could be any role, truly, so that can oversee all the nuts and bolts of it. All right. So didactic education, again, is going to be in the morning with the goal to prepare your new mentors for their elevated status and role. This same education that's going to be taught to you, the mentor champ and the community leadership on July 13th from 8 to noon, is in preparation for you to teach at your community. It will be the same education that you're going to be giving to your associates, your new mentors at your community. It's important for the mentor champ and the community leadership to experience the training to support the program for the longevity and success within your community. So the training is really fun. It's super interactive, and the information taught is for adult learners. You're going to be really thrilled with this training. It's really been received really well. The definition of the program and what a mentor is and the process and why it is important is going to be taught, as well as communication, as it plays an important role in everyday life and it helps each of us develop supporting relationships. We'll discuss how communication takes place, the essential parts of communication, and how to develop good communication skills. So everyone wake up, grab your cup of coffee, and start putting into the chat. Your next question is, who here doesn't think the most important, that most problems could be resolved quickly if we had good communication skills? So this is a yes or a no question, so everybody can put this into the chat. Do you think that most problems could be resolved quickly with good communication skills? I think yes. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be teaching that. Leadership is a skill, and the CNA mentor is a leadership role seen as an influencer by their peers and others within your community. So we'll be discussing values, characteristics of leadership styles, and problem solving. And so thinking about the mentor program and how this is really going to be beneficial for your community, what kinds of problems do you think your mentor can help solve while onboarding new CNAs? What can be taken off of your plate and empowered by your CNA mentors to solve? So what kinds of problems do you think the mentor can help solve? For us, it was a lot of he said, she said, and we just asked that our mentors be that first line person that anyone with a problem within the neighborhood working with our new mentee takes the problem to the mentor, because 99.9% of the time the mentor can solve that problem without it having to go up the ladder, so to speak. So Kate, do we see what kinds of problems do they think could be solved by a mentor?
So far, we haven't seen any come through. Oh, here we go. Confusion on procedures. That's a big one.
Yes, that is a huge one. Thank you.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Julie.
Yes, thank you. That is a huge one. Another thing that we noticed is how to manage stress and time. Sharing what is stress, real versus non-real, perceived and physical symptoms with the stages for your CNA mentors to recognize stress and have strategies to manage their stress, to decrease burnout and help with time management. Here's another really good yes or no, so I know everyone can answer this. Who right now is feeling a little stressed and could use a refresher on strategies to help reduce stress? Anyone else feeling a little stressed just with everything going on? Oh, yeah. And then we're also going to talk about work performance strategies to help your new CNA mentor succeed in their new role. What does the mentee need to feel comfortable the first day and throughout their critical retention time of that 1 year and beyond? And we'll talk a little bit about that here in a few minutes as well. As we know, adult learners, we learn different than children, and our learning styles are diverse, in part based on our personal experiences. So you'll discover the 4 different adult learning styles in addition to transformational learning fundamentals with its 3 stages. So your community right now, the leadership team and the mentor champ, by either starting the mentor program or revamping your mentor program, have already made a fundamental change in thinking and behaving as you are changing your old ways of thinking about CNA orientation and mentorship and retention by letting go of those old ways of onboarding your new CNAs with this new mentor program. Change is a role we are always taking. We explore the journey. We're going to define change and transformation with a model of change, and the mentor being a change agent with this new rewarding, elevated role within your community. Team building is essential for community success by working together through cooperation and coordination with one another to accomplish common purpose. So what we found initially was that we had a lot of silos within our community. Each department was siloed. So this training is really going to help also break down those silos with a really fun way of exploring interdepartmental teams, team building strategies, values with the benefits for the team, and also determining what are the 4 team building styles with your teams. So that is just kind of an overview of the mentorship training, Train the Trainer. So next slide. This is an example of a competency that is completed during skills education in the afternoon during the training at your community. It is essential that during mentor training, the new mentor demonstrates or reads through each competency to prepare them to know each step of the competency. be able to answer questions, allow for consistency with all CNA associates performing the skill the same way, and feel comfortable teaching others the competency. Knowing how to teach and perform each competency correctly every time will also help alleviate fear and stress during survey, because if all mentors are teaching new CNAs the correct way to perform competencies without taking shortcuts, and everyone follows the correct way to perform a skill, you don't have to think about the correct way when you're being watched, because you're already doing it the correct way. It's now a habit. And that is one benefit. Another benefit that we have found with the mentor program is that consistency of training the skills and being very successful during our survey process. The mentor program offers new CNAs 2 layers to learn skill competencies: in the classroom during orientation, and with our elders at the bedside with a mentor. During mentor training at your community, the new mentor will need to have 2 copies of their competencies, one for the new mentor to refer to while they're teaching, and the other to be signed by the mentor champion for their employee file for that new CNA to be retained for survey readiness. Remember how the mentor always ensures the new mentee completes the competencies during orientation? We talked about that last time. Well, in order to complete those competencies, the mentor and the mentee are paired during their first 3 12-hour or 4 8-hour shifts throughout the month. Many states mandate competencies or skills be completed within the first 30 days of hire. It's really essential that the hiring manager keeps a file for of all the associates' competencies that are completed. These are really important as proof if needed for adverse events, questions, or state survey. The signatures from the mentor and the new associates state that they are competent in that particular skill. So in the chat, can you put in, how would you feel if all of your CNAs have competencies within their files so that you are survey ready? How would that feel? For us, it's pretty amazing. We don't have to worry, oh, does Jane Smith have this competency? Why, yes, she does. It's in the file. The mentor completed it with them. So how would that feel? For us, it feels pretty amazing. Mentor champions oversee the competencies, the paperwork, and the mentor payment. Competency stations will need to be set up in the afternoon, again, the skills portion. And during our time together, July 12th, we'll share how to prepare the stations and your competencies with the needed equipment so that you'll be set up for success. All right, next slide. We love to celebrate our new cohorts. And so we've completed the mentor, train the trainer. We have our new mentors that are on board. And now we really need to celebrate. We pin our mentors in front of their peers. It's really important. So while I highlight, oh, next slide. Oh, perfect. Thank you. While I highlight a few ideas of how we recognize and celebrate our mentors, put into the chat any ideas that you can think of to highlight your new mentors. So we announce our new mentors in all staff meetings. Better yet, we introduce them in front of the meeting and we have them say something about themselves. And so this is a public recognition that can be really meaningful. Throw a party once the mentors have successfully finished the mentor training. Maybe someone in the senior leadership can congratulate and welcome those new mentors. Purchase those mentor pins and ribbons for the mentors to wear in the communities while they work. It really designates their new title and added responsibilities. Make sure, again, that they are large enough to be visible. So if you purchase them from the source that we've recommended, they will be recognizable. Consider having mentors wear different colored uniforms or shirts and designate them by being a mentor. Throw quarterly graduation parties to celebrate the new mentors or celebrate the new mentees or the new hires after they've been graduated from the mentorship program. Invite their peers, residents, families, have the mentor say something about their new coworker, present them a small gift. You know, a small gift can be something that's homemade. It can be something that is very small, but very significant. It's really that thought. Maybe have a designated parking spot for the mentors. Make sure to respect their need to attend meetings, especially the monthly mentor meeting, which I'll be sharing here in a few minutes. When there's a problem or a specific need, consult your mentors. They need to be seen and used as experts within your community. Invite the mentors to participate in meetings such as quarterly meetings or care conferences. Work with your residents to come up with special ways that they can celebrate the mentors, maybe a luncheon or a party. Announce new mentors in any newsletter or publication the community publishes. Maybe there's a local newspaper who would like to do a story on the mentor program. Consider posting or publishing short biographies about the mentors. And we have an example of that within your resources as well. Post names and bios of the mentors on the neighborhood's bulletin board or the TV channel. Always publicize and personally recognize your mentors' contributions. Have hourly holiday luncheon with the mentors with a small gift of gratitude in a local restaurant. Send handwritten notes of appreciation. I know when I receive a handwritten note of appreciation or a thank you card, or it's very meaningful. And remind good employees that they too can be considered to become a mentor in the future. Remember, this is an elevated special role within your community. All right, next slide. Did we see anything in the chat on different ways that we can celebrate and recognize our mentors?
We did. Julia mentioned that her idea is social media, to highlight them on social media. That's a great one, and that's one that I don't think was listed. So thank you, Julia. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you, Julia. You know what? I just made a note. You taught me. I'm going to bring back to our community social media. I love it. Thank you. The mentor and mentor champion must both have the resources and time available to them to make their role in the onboarding process for the new CNA a success. The supervisor for the mentor and the mentor champion have responsibilities to provide the following. So time allowance for the program integration and systems. You can see that there's quite a bit of systems that need to be implemented within your community to set the foundation and have this very successful. So that time allowance is really important. Department meal compensation for any meals for the mentor, mentee, to have time together during orientation and training. Again, we want to form that friend at work and also teach them how to succeed at their new job. And to do that, we need to have one-on-one time together. Again, that department meal compensation could be at your bistro, it could be at a coffee shop. It doesn't have to be anything super exciting. It's just really that time away together to form that relationship and answer those questions. Support the mentor with identified training needs. So maybe the mentor would benefit from a leadership conference or communication skills class. So just identifying some additional trainings. Pay time for required paperwork and teaching the mentor, train the training education and the competency skills. Overall support and recognition for the value of the program within your community. Really, that leadership buy-in is extremely essential. I cannot say enough about that. If the executive director at your community or your CEO really values that mentor training and speaks highly of it and supports it, you will have a successful program. The mentor will also set monthly mentor meetings for connection. So I'll talk more about that on the next slide. Growth in opportunities in the community, leadership, education. Mentors, again, will also help facilitate clinical orientation and competencies, test out competencies for existing associates. So that's the exciting thing too, is once your mentors are trained on how to complete the competencies with their mentees, this can also be done as a peer-to-peer with your current CNAs that also need their competencies completed to get those files survey ready. Teach clinical orientation, assign that mentor for that 1 year mentee-mentor relationship. So again, with this program, it is a 6-month program. CLC recommends that 1 year, just because that 1 year mark is really essential for retention. And then remember that the mentor is also going to help with celebrations, leading meetings, new education and trainings. They can do focus groups. So if you want to go ahead and go to the next slide, Kate, we have some ideas on mentor meetings and recognition. Again, all of this content is available to you. So mentor meetings, we have a monthly mentor meeting. Always consider time to check in with each other so that the mentors can share their concerns and ideas and celebrate their successes. Creating camaraderie among the mentors is very important, since it can be difficult to be a mentor working with peers who are not mentors. So they really need that support. It is important that you have a mentor champion who coordinates the meetings. Consider having the mentors rotate, setting up the agenda, running the meeting, hosting in their neighborhood. It's fun for the mentor, and it can provide a lot of leadership skills for your mentors. It's important to get the buy-in from the mentor supervisor to encourage and allow the mentor to attend these meetings. Even though the community will have to work one person short for an hour, it's important for the mentor to attend. Ask the mentors what time of day and time of the week is best for the meeting to be set, so that we can really be cognizant of their work schedules and what they need to perform on the floor. Begin and end the meeting on time. This will also support the neighborhood's needs, knowing that the mentor will be returning timely. So some ideas for the agenda could be bring in experts to share their knowledge on things like state survey preparation, conflict management, how to give good feedback, emergency preparedness, working with people living with dementia, how to participate in care conferences, recruitment and retention and culture. Also have members of senior leadership, such as maybe the ED or the CEO, attend that meeting. Have a big project that the mentors can work on together, such as recruitment projects, like speaking at schools about their profession. Another idea is to have mentors provide training for all the new CNAs on topics such as empathy training or how to retain employees. Educate the mentors on how to do initial interviews with potential new CNA hires. So we spent a lot of time working with our HR and coming up with interview questions to have our CNA mentors sit in on those initial interviews. It was very empowering for them to be able to share. We think that this person would be an amazing culture fit for our community, or we do not think that they are a good culture fit. We see some real red flags. It's very empowering for them to help select their new coworkers. So that was a real big win for us. Ask mentors to do the community tours for new potential residents and team members. Again, this will require some training, but we found it to be really beneficial because those our CNAs could introduce those that were being toured to our residents by name, and they have that bond already with our residents, and it was very powerful. Consider using mentors as a focus group. This worked really well when we were considering changing benefits or getting kind of a pulse of what was happening within our communities. When considering purchasing new equipment or new processes, use the mentor's experience to evaluate or get buy-in for this new purchase. So we were looking at 3 different vital signs equipment to integrate into our PCC. And we asked our mentors to trial those 3 products and give us feedback on which one they thought would be best for our neighborhood to purchase. So again, just giving that empowerment. And then, gosh, what a benefit for us, right? We're not purchasing equipment that potentially doesn't meet their needs, that they're not going to use, that doesn't enhance their work performance. So really asking those that are using that equipment, our mentors, was really beneficial. And then they can train everyone on how to use that equipment. So it's really a win-win. Have the mentors and interested residents work on projects such as teaching English to staff members or intergenerational offerings. Ask the mentors to conduct audits such as hand hygiene, donning, doffing, etc. So in the chat, this is a simple question, yes or no. Do you think you could have your mentors conduct those hand hygiene audits, the donning, doffing, using PPE correctly? As we know, the F80 hand hygiene is the #1 tag in the nation. So let's use our mentors to help with that hand hygiene audit, right? And give back that feedback in the moment. Empower them. Remember to always show gratitude, support, and celebration, because this really is a celebration. So the sky's the limit in what you can accomplish and do with your mentors. It's a really, really fun. Of course, a lot of these things are in the future. It's things for you to start thinking about as the program becomes more integrated in your community. All right, next slide.
Thanks, Natalie. I just wanted to share with the group an idea that about how to recognize the mentors.
Yes,
You could think about inviting them to attend a WHCA or Leading Age Wisconsin conference or special event. You know, that really gets them some exposure and some good training and broadens their horizons in terms of like professional development experiences. And then also like fun events, you know, like I know, for instance, WHCA hosts a golf outing every year. Maybe 1 or 2 of the mentors, or however many you can spare, could attend one of those. And I don't know if Janice can chime in about other like fun things that LAW or Leading Age Wisconsin does. But yeah, just sort of involving them in the broader community through those membership organizations. So I'll move on forward here. Thanks, Natalie.
Oh my gosh, I'm writing that one down too. Thank you so much. I think that's really important. We all really value going to conferences, being with our peers, learning from each other, doing the fun things. Golf, I mean, how fun is that? I think that is an excellent, excellent idea. Thank you, Kate. I'm writing that one down as well. I'm learning from everyone here. The mentors,
Janice,
yes.
with Leading Age Wisconsin, we could also offer virtual networking meetings for the mentors across the state, so that they could talk to each other and share best practices.
Thank you, Janice. I think that would be amazing, amazing. And as you're aware, I would love to be a part of that. That's awesome. I would love to hear everybody's successes and learn from everyone about best practices and what's going well and what's not. And thank you, Janice. I think that's an excellent idea. The mentors will be compensated best on a result-driven basis and has the ability to earn as much as they're willing to put into the program. Each mentor will be required to assist their mentee with the compensation of their skills or the completion of their skills competencies within 90 days of hire. 30 days is really best practice. We encourage communities to continue the mentor-mentee relationship again for that 1 year. But again, as shared during our last time together, this is really based on your community's decision. Come together as a leadership team and decide what you would like to do. With this program, it is a 6-month program, but what we have found is if we can retain our new associate for 1 year, this is really the time frame that's paramount for that longevity for them to stay at our community. During this 1 year, we do have set times in which the mentee and mentor come together again to have that one-on-one conversation. And this is during 30 days, 60 day, 90 day, 120 day. Again, that 6-month mark is that WisCaregiver career program bonus. So that's already built into this. And then an additional meeting time at the 1 year mark, which again is suggested. At CLC, each of our mentor and mentees are responsible for the completion of the evaluation of the program at a 3-day orientation time. So 3 days being on the floor together. Again, at that 30, 60, 90, 120 days, 6-month and 1 year mark. And during each of these times, each of these time frames, our mentor can receive a bonus. For CLC, we offer up to a $500 bonus for a 1 year retention. If your community is interested on brainstorming what this would look like in your community for a 1 year mark, feel free to reach out to Pat and myself, email us. The information is on the last slide. We'd be happy to talk with you about that. The evaluation forms, which are up on the screen, are filled out by both the mentor and the mentee, again, during that one-on-one time together to allow that friend at work and time to ask questions on how to do my job. And we know that as individuals work longer at their job, it's going to be different questions that are being asked. And that's why we think that 1 year mark is just really essential. On the questionnaire, questions such as quality of work, job performance, dependability, and attitude are filled out. All right, next slide. Forms and the spreadsheet to track orientation time on the floor, competency completion, mentor and mentee evaluation forms, and the bonus forms are again provided as well. All right, next slide. We need to also have systems for the mentee to also be successful. And we want them to know that there's relief from anxiety and to teach them that. So that's one of the things that's taught during the Mentor Train the Trainer program is how to relieve anxiety. This is a new job, new residents, associates, maybe they're moving to a new state. We want to make sure that that mentee has a sincere welcome. So I'll have more on the next slide about that. We want to introduce them to everyone that they pass by. This is our coworkers and also our residents. Our residents are just as interested in introducing and knowing who is going to be working with them at the community. So our associates are just as interested on our new CNAs as we are. And then integrate them into the community. This also helps to build loyalty and forms trust. Again, clinical orientation and competencies. This gives them consistent education. They're going to know the policies and procedures. Again, teach me what I need to know to be successful. This helps set them up for success. If I know what is expected, I can be exceptional at what I do. So in the chat, can you share with me one expectation that you wish you would have known when you started your position that would have helped to make you more successful? I know that's kind of a question that we all have to think about, but we need to think about that when we onboard new individuals. Expectations. What expectation would have helped to make you more successful if you would have known? And then knowing that chain of command, again, going to the mentor first with problems so it can be problem solved right away, if possible. Show respect. Open that line of communication. Give prompt feedback, both good and bad. Acceptance for who they are. Everyone wants to feel accepted where they're working. And then help build relationships with the peers, because again, friendships are the reason that we stay. So Kate, do we have anything in our chat on any expectations that they wish they would have known when they first started to help make them successful in their position?
Julius shares, I would have appreciated being introduced to staff in other departments when I started. That's very good insight. Thank you, Julia.
Yes, completely agree. We do have a scavenger hunt that our communities have put together to help individuals find things like the the med room, where to charge, where to put your lunch, just kind of the things that places that people need to know when you first start a job. And we also recommend introductions to those key roles. So I love that. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. All right, next slide. What are some systems that your new CNA needs to be successful? So remember, our goal is retention. That is our goal. We want to not only train these CNAs for this amazing profession and service, being of service, but we want to retain them at our community. So we have our new mentors fill out biographies about themselves. And we do give a little template and some information on how to do that. And we share this with others, to their coworkers and to the residents, just to help make those connections. During their first day, the mentee's first day, we know that first impressions are really essential. So put into the chat, what was your first impression walking into your community on your first day? And be truthful, especially if your boss is not on the chat. So be truthful. What was your first impression walking into your community on your first day? So be aware of the day and the time that your new mentee will begin. Know how to spell and pronounce their name. Know as much about them as you can. Ask the associate that interviewed or hired the CNA, as they may know something interesting about them, such as experiences and hobbies, so that you can make some connections. Greet the new employee personally at the door and make them feel important. Take the time to meet them personally. Don't keep them waiting. This may make them feel unimportant and nervous. Greet them by name, shake their hand. Well, if we can do that anymore. Definitely greet them by name. Look them in the eye and tell them something like, "We are so glad that you're here, Sheila." Try not to give them the impression that you are too busy or have something more important to do, because really they are essential and extremely important. Go over the community creative scavenger hunt. So like I shared a few slides ago, we want them to know where to find like soiled linens, eye wash station, break room, fire extinguishers, know the general flow of the day, such as our residents get up at this time, they eat their meals, when our life enrichment activities, when we chart and take breaks, just so that they feel comfortable on that first day. Familiarize them with the work environment. Show them how to get into your community. Again, do that scavenger hunt. Show them and introduce them to the staffing coordinator so that they can get their work shirt, their gate belt, or their name tag, any other standard supplies. Discuss their schedule. Introduce them to coworkers and residents. Make sure everybody's wearing a name tag so that our new mentee can, again, know individuals' names and their positions. Be careful not to overwhelm them at first. I think we've all felt this when we start a new job, overwhelmed. Communities create an organization binder to refer to protocols, policy, key contacts, etc. Try not to make the job sound too difficult and overburden them with too much information or rules at first. Remember, you have a whole year or 6 months to work with this individual. Be sure to give them your phone number and the important community phone numbers, especially who to call if calling in and what that procedure is. Remember, it is your responsibility to maintain contact throughout the mentor-mentee time frame. Remind them of the monthly evaluation protocol so that the mentor can get that bonus. Explain the mentorship model so that they are aware to come to the mentee if they have any concerns with staffing, conflicts of any nature, and just dealing with new procedures and situations and competencies. And then really remind your mentors, have fun with the mentee. And they're going to grow. It's really exciting to watch the growth within your community with your new mentors. So next slide. So we went over the next steps during our last time together. So again, this is available just as a reminder and a refresher for everyone. And next slide. So we are looking forward to seeing our mentor chants and our leadership teams during the July 12th, 2022 CNA Competency Completion Station. We're going to explain exactly how to set up your competency and skills stations with all the supplies needed and really help set you up for success. And then on July 13th, we're going to have that mentor train the trainer training from 8 to 12. Again, really interactive and super fun. And we're just so excited to have you join us. And if you have any questions or you need support, again, please reach out to Pat and myself. Please email both of us so that we can both be tag teamed. That way, if one individual is busy, the other can get back to you. Our goal is to get back to you within 24 hours. However, we generally get back with you within the day. So we're really excited to have any questions. And for those that have sent questions, we have really appreciated it. All right. Any questions, Kate, that are coming up that I can answer during our last about 7 minutes together?
No, I don't see any questions right now. Again, everybody, if you have not registered for next week's webinar, please do so. The first one will be on the 12th and the second one will be on the 13th. So 2 days in a row. And yeah, we're looking forward to really diving into that material, Natalie. Thank you so much.
Yes, yeah, I'm excited about it too.
I also wanted to highlight for everybody that I did add the email address where you can email us to ask for the link to the online folder into the chat. So yes, if you want to grab that from there, you can. Again, it's info@WisCaregiverCNA.com. And yeah, thank you all so much for being here, and thank you, Natalie, and we'll see you all next week.
All right, wonderful. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.